Within the last 30 days, I've been having trouble catching him. Every time I get close to him, he turns his butt toward me and started running away. So today I'm having Luke come over and help me.
Howdy everybody, Luke with Reata Horsemanship here, and today I'm with my friend Peter, and we're working with one of his horses who's been a real challenge to catch lately. When he first got his horse Tango, he was easy to catch, and then over time he's just gotten more difficult to the point where a month ago or so it took him about 45 minutes to catch him, and so it's becoming a real problem for him. And so I just wanted to come and show you a few helpful hints, a few tips that I can give Peter in order to catch the horse a little easier. Okay everybody, so I just want to let you know that this horse Tango, he had never been desensitized before, and so I was using this red flag as my main tool for putting pressure on Tango, and as well as my body position and speeding up. And it made it, there's a few challenging things about working on catching Tango in this scenario here. Number one is that Tango was with another horse, and anytime he's with, if you have a horse that's difficult to catch, it's best to initially try to train them in a smaller area and by themselves so they can kind of get the idea of what you want them to do. Then it still may be challenging getting out with other horses, but it's not as difficult as just starting from scratch with another horse or other horses. So what happens is your horse that you're trying to catch will become quite distracted, easily distracted, and you'll see this a number of times throughout this video, that he becomes distracted and loses focus on what I'm trying to get him to do and runs off with his buddy. So that did make it challenging. I want to let you know that this video is about 17 minutes long. However, it took about 50 minutes to go through all of this, so I did cut out quite a bit. I'm just showing you clips of different scenarios and different things that happened where I was able to get a positive response, and also to show some of the negative responses and what I did, how I reacted to try to get him to come into me. Now up to this point I've been pushing him around, literally pushing him around and kind of making him move his feet and breathe a little bit heavily and make him crave some oxygen. And if you can tell, if you look closely, Tango's licking his lips right there. And this is the first time, after it probably took about 10 minutes of pushing him around a little bit, using the flag to move him forward, and also picking up my feet and staying kind of close to him to get him to move his feet and to crave some oxygen. So at that, just a little while ago, what he did was he looked in towards me, and that's when I released the pressure, and I just did it again right there. As soon as he looked at me, I stopped putting pressure on him. So this is the first step, is I want him to look at me, and initially that's what's going to happen, is that the horse will look at me. Instead of showing his butt towards me, he actually shows his eyes, an eye or two eyes, and facing me in any way. That's a positive response, and I release the pressure. As soon as he looks away and shows me his butt and starts to move off, I'll increase that pressure and continue to do so until he looks towards me. And then as you'll see, as we go along here, he starts not only looking towards me, but he also starts moving his feet towards me. So I'm putting pressure on him until he looks at me, and then I take the pressure away and I start to move away, and he actually starts to move towards me. And that's the response I'm looking for. Now, he did this a lot during the early part of this session, where he got on this side of the arena, and he would start to come towards me, and I'd walk away. But then as soon as I started to move towards him, he'd move away again. So it was just a a process that we had to go through to get him to understand that even when I move towards him, he should move towards me. So initially, as he looks at me or he starts moving his feet towards me, I'm moving away from him. Now watch here as his buddy comes across. He's paying attention to me, but whoops, lost his concentration. There he went again. So again, if you're a novice and you're trying to catch a horse, you want to work in a smaller area. It can be a square pin or any pin that's smaller than this. This was probably 80 by 150, something like that. 80 feet by 150 feet area, and that's a little bit difficult to work with. And then you add the fact that he hadn't been desensitized with the flag before. So he didn't know what the flag was used for, and so that pressure actually made him a little bit more nervous than he would be had I worked him in a round pen before that with desensitizing him with a flag and other things. Now at this point in time, his buddy, the other horse, is on the other side of the arena, and what he's tending to do is he'll follow me that way, and part of it was because his buddy was over there. So it was still a positive response, but part of that response was motivated by another horse being on the other end of the arena. So initially I was okay with it, but as you see, as we go through, I'll actually start to put my body on the other side. Right now I'm between him and the other horse. And eventually I'll move to the other side where he's between me and the other horse, and I get him to come in towards me. And that's when we start to really see a positive response. Now, if you look closely, he's licking his lips, he's chewing, he's lowering his head, and he's starting to walk towards me and follow me. Those are all signs of relaxation, signs of submission. And he's telling me, okay, I'm understanding what you want me to do. As long as I'm moving towards you, you're not going to push me around, you're not going to make me work. You can see between his back legs, he's getting a little frothy. So this was almost an hour of work that I got a little sweaty, he got a little sweaty, but we made big changes in his ability to be caught. I feel like the session was very positive. But just keep in mind, if you're novice at this, or even if you're more professional at it and you have more experience with this kind of thing, you'll have moments when you feel frustrated and you feel like you're not getting there. But just be persistent, be consistent, and you'll start to see positive changes. He followed me down, and then I was able to walk up to him. He never looked away from me. I was able to pet him between the eyes, pet him on the neck, pet him under the chin, give him a little love. And this is where we made our first big breakthrough. Which is always enjoyable. And he kind of looked away from me, so I tapped my my leg with my hand to get his attention again, to get him to look at me again, and then rubbed him all over. Now, Tango, this horse, he enjoyed being rubbed underneath the chin, so I don't do that with all horses. Sometimes, especially initially, they kind of feel irritated if you're under their chin or near their mouth, but he seemed to like it, so I gave him some love that way. This was another time where he stayed looking at me with two eyes, and I was able to come up and pet him on the forehead. Now, if you notice, I don't have a halter in my hand. I don't always do this, but because he was so sensitive to the flag, I thought I'd just have the flag in my hands initially. And I just wanted to make mention of what just happened there. That was the first time, even though he moved off right there, that was the first time where he actually he turned towards me and started to make a turn and move his feet around in a circle. Instead of just coming straight towards me and then stopping and then it ending there, he stopped, and then as I rounded out, he started following me. See him moving his back legs over a little bit? Now what I'm trying to do is get him to go forward and around in a circle. And so I'm going out and around. Now look at the position of the flag. The flag is back and down. And it's also near my outside leg, so that puts my body between the flag and the horse. And that just helps him understand that I'm giving him a non-threatening gesture and that he can come on towards me. You put pressure on the horse until the horse does what you want him to, and then you relax so that the horse, and make those gestures of relaxation, make them big, meaning I'm walking away, I've dropped the flag low. There's nothing threatening about my position. Everything you want to do is make that horse feel really good about what he just did, and that is turn towards you, follow you. Now what I ended up doing here is he started getting really comfortable with following me out to the middle, and then as I went back towards him, he'd turn back around and go back to the other side. And he just kept doing that. And so what I ended up doing is putting him on the other end of the arena and forcing him to stay on that side until he came in towards me. Because what he's trying to do is find his comfort zone and go to the other side. So it took a little bit of running, a little bit of pressure to keep him on that side, but you can see he's not comfortable being on that side. His buddy isn't on that side, and he doesn't like being on that side. So I'm forcing him to stay on that side in order to make him uncomfortable, so that when he changes position and looks at me and starts coming towards me, he can feel a big difference. Now there he is. See him licking his lips? And he's following me out. There's your change. We've got the flag low. I'm walking away, making him feel good about that decision to come towards me instead of try to run around me. Now here's where I decide to go get the halter. So rub him down a little bit, make him feel good about that. Now I'm going to go get the halter. Now once I have the halter in my hand, then I have a flag in my hand and I have a halter in the other hand. And horses are very, very keen on changes in environment. And so when I got the halter in my hand, that increased the pressure that he felt and changed the dynamic of what we were doing. It didn't take a whole long time to get him to come in and follow me with the halter in my hand, but it was obvious that he was a little more nervous after I got the halter in my hand. Some horses I'll have the halter in my hand from the beginning, but again, I just decided with him to keep the halter away, just use the flag until I taught him to follow me, then get the halter and move up that way. So he's keeping himself facing me no matter where I go. I went left and circled around, I went right and circled around, and he's facing me. and going forward a little bit. Now it was just about to get dark at this point, and we had gone almost an hour. So although he wasn't following me everywhere like a little puppy dog, he was at least facing me and moving somewhat forward. I felt like he had made significant positive change. I was able to get the halter to his head now. If you watch just a little bit before this moment, I put the lead rope over his neck. And I kind of made a loop around his neck so I could hold him in case he tried to jump away. Now I'm tying the halter on his head. Rub him down a little bit. And there we are.
Okay, well, we got somewhere tonight. We were able to at least get him caught, get him following me, get him looking at me instead of turning his butt towards me. It might take a few more sessions before he gets to the point when you walk out of in the field, he'd come right up to you. But it was a good start. We ended on a positive note, got him haltered. He's feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it. Thanks for watching Reata Horsemanship. Talk to you soon.